Hi.
Boom, boom. Welcome everybody. Oh, my hand is stuck. Welcome everybody to the Renegade Run Podcast, episode 126. Sure. Thank you all so much for being here. Really appreciate it. I don't have chat pulled up. I'm gonna do that right now because I don't have it pulled up yet. But thank you guys so much for being here. Looks like we got over a dozen people hanging out with us already. Thank you guys so much for being means here. A lot. Let me mute myself. Sorry about that. Pull this up so I can actually see. That's one of the things I forgot to do. Shout out to everyone, including and not exclusive to. Actually, it is exclusive to because I'll read everyone. Tegan, Barry Donnellan, channel member, BT Maverick. He says, hey, American Fury. Evening, gentlemen. Also a channel member. Thank you so much for being a channel member. BT Maverick says, if a PlayStation Portal can play PlayStation games, then an Xbox Ally can play Xbox games. Exactly. An Xbox Ally should just be called a PlayStation since it can play everything. Arcane is here. It says, Gesundheit. Gesundheit. Okay. Thank you for being here. Noise Mofo.
Dankeschön. Bitteschön.
Is that French?
Jawohl.
Ooh, I love Javols, especially when they had like the little cherry thing in the middle. Ion Storm is here. He says, what's up? Thank you so much for being here. You guys are awesome. My music is really loud behind me in real life, so if you guys can hear it, I'm sorry, but if not, that's great. Sorry, I am all over the place right now. Guzzles pipe. That's that. There you go. Let's try this again. Welcome everybody to the Renegade Run Podcast, episode 126. Thank you all so much for being here. And if you're new here, this is a weekly gaming podcast. We go live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, talk about all things gaming. And I am joined as always by my son Assassin.
Hello.
And my co-host DeMarco Bro.
Bonjour, mi amore.
Mes amis. Yes.
amis.
And really excited to talk about things today because it's always bad news, and that's what gets the clicks, baby. But no, we are going to talk about Splinter Cell and Xbox and WB Games. I saw your tweet about it, DeMarco, and I was like, that's an interesting take. It is always about the bigger corporations, so it's not necessarily good moves, which I tend to agree with. So let's just get into this ding-dang thing. DeMarco, how are you? What have you been playing? You seen any new movies or anything lately? Books?
I saw The
Adventures?
Exorcist for the first time. It was it wasn't scary.
Could you see though, for the time, how it was revolutionary with its?
It came out in what, 1980,
like 70,
1975.
Yeah, something like that. Someone will tell us.
It was. I can appreciate it greatly for its time, and I actually liked it. I did like it quite a bit. Like, there's little things in it that I'm not gonna go into depth here. It's not that type of show, but there were little things. But yeah, so I saw The Exorcist. I did like it. I had a lot of appreciation for it. It's a lot of fun. And we played Battlefield 6 yesterday. We did some skirmishes.
God, it's so good.
They're doing a new mode that is like it's basically like Battlefield Squid Games, apparently, in a way, where you're doing in squads. You're doing objective-based things, and the worst performing squads get eliminated, and then it's kind of like a battle royale-ish thing, but you're doing it on objective-based, not just trying to shoot one another.
Is that what it is?
So yeah, that's a thing apparently that's in the works, which sounds pretty cool for Battlefield.
Love it.
What I really want to see from Battlefield is a mode where it's sort of campaign based but PvP. So think Helldivers 2, right, where you're fighting and you're trying to liberate the planets, but have a series of maps. Guess what? I'm just gonna explain Galactic Conquest from Battlefront 2. So anyway, just do. That's what I want to see. Like, you're fighting over planets, and it's kind of this longer campaign, and you're not planets in Battlefield, but you're doing it in the different maps, and you're fighting over objectives, and it kind of like, just imagine if they did various skirmishes. Like, they have a series of maps that are in the Middle East, or they have a series of maps that are in the United States, or wherever they are. And then that's the theme, right? And you do a bunch of those maps in that region, and you're picking like where you want to go and where you want to target, and then you battle with an enemy team, and then sort of the results transpire and you get other benefits. If you've like won over here, you'll get extra benefits over here, but the team has a chance to push back, and it's like a tug of war thing across a bigger map. Like, I would love to see that. I think that'd be really cool. And it would actually be unique. It's not copying Squid Games. It's not another Battle Royale. It's not another extraction shooter. We got a lot of those, but that would be a very different mode. And I would love to see something different. I think that'd be cool, but that's also because we were playing some, I don't know if this was recently, but some Helldivers too. And it was fun to hop back into that. Yeah. Oh, also, Heroes of Might and Magic, which is one of my favorite games of all time. One of my favorite games, Heroes of Might and Magic, old school from the 90s, turn-based. They have a new 2026 version of the game. There was a demo that came out called Olden Era, Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era, and it's taking like it's supposed to be taking the best parts of like Heroes 3 and Heroes of Might and Magic 2, and it's putting it into the modern age. And I tried that out during Steam Next Fest, as well as Shadow of the Road, which was really good, and some other demos during Steam Next Fest. But if you're looking for a turn-based game, if you like strategy games, Heroes of Might and Magic, go on GOG or wherever on PC and get Heroes of Might and Magic 3, but also
or on your Xbox ROG Ally.
Pretty good. Or on your ROG Ally, exactly. Or on your or just on your Asus ROG, or on your Lenovo Go, or on any other one that can do multiple storefronts.
That's right.
Including the Steam Deck. And well, and anyway, Might and Magic Golden Era, really, really good. So that's been my stuff's going on.
Nice. I did not know the details about the Battlefield game mode. That sounds really cool. I think they're still going to have a Battle Royale and an exfil mode for sure, but I would like to see
Battle Royale's definitely coming.
Yeah. Because it feels like it's built for that. Its pacing just feels right for that. But anyway, Assassin, what have you been into, man?
Playing video games.
Nice. Well, anyway, let's get to the first topic. You want to elaborate?
And Dispatch. Dispatch comes out tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, the superhero, but you're a dispatcher.
Yeah, it's Telltale, but you're dispatching the superheroes, and it's like a Telltale. It's made by the original Telltale, some of the original Telltale devs. So that's super, super fun, and I'm excited. I've been really excited for that one. That, I think, is a day one for me.
Yeah, a lot of awesome stuff coming out. There's one game that came out today.
Jurassic World Evolution 3.
Jurassic World Evolution 3, and I cannot wait to not play that. But no, I have not got to play Bloodlines 2 because it didn't fucking come today. Thanks a lot, GameStop. But it did ship. So it should be here maybe Saturday. But that is unfortunate. However, it might be good because we're going to have a guest on next week who is new to the community, just started up a new YouTube channel a while back, who is probably going to play it a lot. He literally just chatted as soon as he's probably going to play it a lot more than I will by the time that he comes on next week to talk about our impressions of that game, which is really exciting. I'm really, really excited. Like, it's been, Bloodlines 2 has been getting shat on by reviews, and everything that I see in the community, everything that I've seen gameplay wise, it's in the game, and it looks like I feel like I'm gonna love it just because I am biased to the lore and the world, and the game doesn't need to be, peak to enjoy. It doesn't need to be perfect in all aspects, I guess. No game is, but I'm very excited to play that. But I didn't get to play that today. What have I? Yeah, we play Battlefield. It never gets old. I think about it every day. We were talking about it. Like I think about it every day. I'm like, I just jump in and play like a little game in between work or something. I'm like, ugh, there's something about it. And all these clips that you see on Twitter, like these like insane moments. Like I saw there's the one clip, I don't know who shared it to me. Maybe it was you, Assassin, that sent me the clip where it was like I was enjoying the view and then my life flashed before my eyes. And like this jet, the guy was like, "Oh, look, a jet." And he like turns over and it's like, "Hello, darkness," and a jet just like flies right at the dude's face, and he like dives back just in time for the jet to like skim his nose and like fly up. It's insane. I watched another clip today.
You get those types of moments, yeah.
Yeah, like I watched.
They're
a clip
rare,
today,
but they happen.
But they haven't. Yeah, like I there was a clip today where someone was like in trench warfare. Like he could not get out of the trenches. He had to just crawl the whole way through because every time he popped his head up, just getting shot at, explosions going off. The game is great. The game is just so good. It's so much. And I totally agree with people saying like, you can't choose one or the other between Call of Duty and Battlefield. Like you can have both because they're very different. They're very different. And I think that's why they both have their strong suits.
Which is why it's concerning when they turn around and they say, "Oh, well, we're trying to find the right balance," because Battlefield has always been a slower thing, and when you say, "Okay, we're gonna speed things up," it's like, you shouldn't, because that 760,000 plus player count that you got. Guess what? They're playing it. And they're sticking around because they like where it's at, right? That doesn't mean doesn't mean make it faster. And they intentionally made it slower from the beta, so they already knew the beta was too fast. But apparently now it's too slow. But I think it needs to be slower, personally. These TikTokers don't have the attention span to focus on going to an objective or playing battle lines or actually using cover. So I think it should be slower, personally, but that's just me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. See, Ion says, installing Vampire Masquerade right now. Wearing the jacket, looking very masqueradey. I have many jackets. I just happened to throw this one on this morning whenever I took out the dog and did all the outside stuff because it was kind of chilly, and I just like left it on all day. There are many a jack, I would say. That's everything. Andrew Cullinane, thank you for being here, man. Shout out to Noise Mofo. Who else joined? Don't want to Fuzzy Tomato. Did I just say that? I'm having a stroke. But thank you for being here, guys. 64 on Open Critic for Bloodlines 2. Yes, and I'm gonna love all 63 of it.
And it's a nice $60 game.
There you go. Exactly. Highlander Grim.
And you can get with the deluxe edition, you don't even need to get the deluxe edition because the deluxe edition only gives you some cosmetics and it's a first-person game. So
now it does do something that I wish and that I hope that the next Cyberpunk does, is that whenever you're in dialogue, which this is a very dialogue-heavy game like Cyberpunk, it pulls back to a third-person camera like The Witcher. So you see your character all the time, which that's all I asked for. Like when people were complaining and screaming about, me included, with Cyberpunk not having the option for third person, I didn't need the whole game to be in third person. Just let's see our character more. Let's see. I want to see my dude. Like all I could see is Jesse Pinkman in my head the entire time that I played Cyberpunk. Because he's just like, come on, Mr. White, we gotta make more meth. That's how he sounds the whole time. Come on, everybody. And then I would see my character in the inventory. I'm like, who the hell is that? So anyway,
that's you.
That's me with my fluorescent beanbag chair pants and my tubey fluffy jacket. I'm like, what the anyway, but Bloodlines 2 allows that. I love that. So at least we do see our character a lot, which is great. I think that the premium edition also includes some of the DLC that's coming out. I could be wrong.
There's a deluxe edition and then there's a premium edition. The deluxe edition is $70 and only comes with the one cosmetic pack. That's it.
Okay, Highlander, did you get a chance to watch Mr. Matty review? I don't watch reviews, to be fair. I respect reviewers. Like, I would like to review stuff too. But personally, I like to just go in blind and form my own opinion, because even if a review is, this game is a 10 out of 10 and I loved everything about it, I still don't want to know about it, honestly. And it's because I don't want to go in with any preconceived notion. I don't want any sort of influence. that affects my opinion. And that's just me. It's the same thing with movies. Like when people say, like Superman, we talk about Superman all the time. Everyone's like shitting all over it. I'm like, it's not a bad movie. Like it's not my favorite movie of all time, but like, it's just like anything else. But so no, I did not see his review. I saw that his review was up, and he's got the very vague. So I played it, and I'm like, yep. So you probably liked it, but not a whole lot. BT Maverick.
Or it was
Maverick.
just okay. Like, it's okay
Yeah.
to be okay sometimes.
Exactly. Tegan says, it's poop. That's fine. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. But yeah, like what you like. I'm really excited about Bloodlines 2. But anyway, Assassins, what video games have you been playing?
So I have actually been bouncing between Ghost of Yotei and Battlefield 6.
Ugh.
I played a few matches with you, Red. We had a lot of fun. I got a lot of clips. I say a lot, but I only got 2 clips. One where I think I actually shared it on Twitter. Follow my Twitter, by the way. I actually got a 5-kill with a grenade without even meaning to. I just threw a grenade in a doorway just because I do that out of habit, out of people who actually come around the corner when I least expect it. So I just like, okay, I'll just throw a grenade at the door. I'm not going to get a kill. And then all of a sudden, the animation pops up, or the sound effect pops up when you get a kill, and I look up and I go, oh my god, I got 5 people in there. How low were they all? And I was like, I stopped for a second, and I got killed because of it, because I was such in shock. I'm like, grenades in this game, and I love Battlefield 6. I got about a good 15 hours of it so far.
Yeah, they're
The
like...
grenades suck. The grenades suck. Like, that you can't kill anybody with a grenade. Even if they're standing right on it, it's not a guaranteed kill.
Skill issue?
Yeah, right.
You gotta pull a pin before.
This coming from the guy with a .8 KD? Yeah, sit down.
I don't have a .8.
Yeah, you do.
He's got a positive. He's got a 1 point something.
I'm gonna sign on right now, and I'm gonna make you look so stupid when I have a .89.
That's right, exactly.
You told
Get it
us
right.
you had a .8, like literally 2 net. Wait, that was red.
No,
Okay,
I was at a 0.973. But
Oh yeah, you were at a .97.
Yeah, I was at like 1.4, and then I played one game, and then I died like 30 fucking times.
Yeah,
Like,
but Red,
it was
you know
just
what I'm saying, right? Like, even if you throw a grenade right next to somebody, it's not a guaranteed kill.
Yes.
And sometimes
100%.
you and I have been hit by so many grenades and we didn't die. So I don't know what it is about grenades, but they need to buff it up a bit.
And somehow, and I saw the clip. I mean, I was there. You got 5 kills with one grenade, and in the clip, you're like, what the hell? And you just get shot immediately because you're like stunned by what you had just done. It was so funny.
So if I actually shared that other clip, the one where you were down and I got 2 kills trying to revive you.
Oh, that was dope. Yep.
Do you think you can show that to the chat today, or would that fuck everything up?
I could try. I can try. It's been a while since I've done that, but I can definitely try.
Yeah, you can try. I will focus on that, but so I've also been playing Ghost of Yotei. I've been having a lot of fun with that.
1.377.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, cool. I got
right.
1.48.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Oh my god. All right, so let's put the rollers down. But yeah, how you liking Ghost of Antifa?
Okay, Red, let's not bring that bullshit in here. I completely disagree with the actress's opinions on that stuff, but I'm of the opinion, like you, of judging a game based on the actual game itself. So I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got a good buddy who it's like his game of the year. He put 80 hours into it, and he cried, and he loves it to death. So if you like it, it's great.
I've put about 12 hours into Ghost of Yotei. It's a great game. It's basically Tsushima with better combat and a story that's a bit less appealing than Jin's from Tsushima. But if Expedition 33 had not come out, I would say it's my game of the year. But since Expedition 33 is a thing and it's real and I love it to death, I would say that Ghost of Yotei so far is in my top 5. But then again, I'm just now starting Ninja Gaiden 4 tonight. By the way, I picked that up at GameStop physically, and everything is on disc, so that's fun. I picked up Oblivion Remastered as well, Red.
Yeah, I did too.
It was on sale.
Yeah,
$35.
Yeah, so I got it for 40, the deluxe edition, and then I got the steelbook. Should be coming like next week sometime. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, DeMarco, this is something, just a side tangent, because just to segue into what I've been playing, and then we'll get into Splinter Cell stuff. If you guys are new here, if you're not new here, please hit the like button. There's 20 people here. Let's try to get to 15 likes. I'm just asking for 2 likes. That's it. Please. But yes, please hit the like button. That means a lot. One of the best things, all I asked for, everyone was complaining in Oblivion Remastered about the difficulty. They just said, here, you figure it out. And they literally allow you to adjust damage input and output. It's incredible. It's amazing. They literally allow player damage and NPC damage to be scaled from adept, expert, master, all the way, whatever. And I have it to where I think I'm like at expert damage and like adept damage input. So it feels very balanced. Like I can die very quickly. It feels so good in the game. It just completely changed the way that the game feels. And for me personally, I love it so much. So if anybody was pissed off, like I was, like a lot of people were about the difficulty scaling that was totally unbalanced, they just let you do whatever you want, and it's great.
That's a good feature, especially because like I know a lot of damage mods for Skyrim. One of the issues that they often run into is that it just says, hey, we're multiplying the damage across the board. Maybe that's how some of the difficulty and something like that works, but my big thing is like if I'm playing a game like Skyrim or Vampire the Masquerade or whatever it is, if I'm playing a game and there's this big fat enemy in front of me, he should be tankier. Like I expect it to take more hits, but because they just scale up the damage, now suddenly my sword's doing 100 damage, but its health, it doesn't increase, right? So the health is still like 100 points, but now I'm suddenly doing 300 points of damage per swing. So you just kill it and you're like, well, there goes that. And so a lot of things don't scale it right. So hopefully I hope that we kind of move past a little bit too. It's great that they're offering sliders, but let's take that a step further and say, okay, well, how do you want, if you do run across a tanky enemy, how do you want that to scale? And they kind of think about how they scale each independent enemy rather than just a damage multiplier, right? Which is sometimes how difficulty works, but I think when you give that, I think when you open up that level of customization, it's good for games to rethink how they're going to, because now they can say, all right, we left it in the player's hands, but now we can spend time thinking about how can we make it actually more of a challenge, actually more of a threat, and more of a engaging experience in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is a hard balance, because if you tune if you put too much, I've run into this personally with games that allow you too much option. You put too much, agency. You leave the player with too much agency, then you have this really unbalanced experience where the RPG elements sort of fly out the window. Like I get a stronger sword, and it's like, well, it doesn't matter because I'm killing people with an iron dagger in 2 hits anyway. So what does it matter what I use? Anyway, yes, thank you guys for hitting the like button, and if you haven't done that, please do so. Thank you, True77 and Ion Storm. Thank you so much for doing that. The Elemental here, the Shadowling Dragon Wolf King, thank you for being here. I haven't seen you here in a while. Thank you. They want you and Assassin to fight, DeMarco.
I mean, there's in the background there's a war raging in regards to physical ownership of games versus buying on a platform like GOG, which gives you ownership. So that's a whole thing there.
Are we really gonna bring the DMs into this bullshit? Okay.
Yeah, they want to fight. They want to fight. You got to give the fans what they want.
He wanted to see a fight, and I'm assuming Battlefield, which I would completely destroy you in.
No. They wanted to fight over. They wanted an argument, Assassin. We could argue about whether or not they wanted Battlefield or an argument. That could be the fight.
That could be the
Hey,
argument.
Marco, how about we have an argument
That could
about why
be the argument.
Starfield is too reliant on procedural
So let's
generation,
move
like
on
Bruce
to the
Smith's
first
said.
topic. All right.
Well,
So
that's
first
been
topic
talked about.
is so all right. So again, thank you all for being here. Let's get into the first dang thing. Splinter Cell Remake was announced 4 years ago or 3 years ago. I think it was about 3 years ago, maybe. Anyway, since the development of Splinter Cell, so what happened today? A director has left the studio. What happened before this? A year ago, a director left. What does this say? It's management. So we haven't seen anything for Splinter Cell Remake. We haven't had another Splinter Cell for 12 years. I think 2013 was the last Splinter Cell. Blacklist. 30 gigs, I heard. Ion, yeah. So this tells me that this might be Ubisoft. This is just my opinion. This is Ubisoft saying, all right, if we're going to do a remake, how are we going to milk it? How are we going to implement multiplayer or some kind of live service element? Because it should be pretty cut and dry to do a remake. So Metal Gear Solid Delta changed my whole perspective on how remakes are done. Because you would think that with the technology that we have today, like we wouldn't have to like re-record voice lines, I guess. Like that's the base, right? So you take like the first Splinter Cell game. And you have Michael Ironside doing all the voiceover, but the game is literally 20 years or 22 years old or something at this point. Metal Gear Solid is 21 years old, and they used all the same voice lines with a couple re-recorded stuff that is brand new that you thought I wouldn't notice, but I noticed. They could just do that with Ubisoft could have just done that, like a 1-to-1 remake, but I don't think that that's what they're doing. I think they're going to have a full-on new voice actor for Sam Fisher. I think that they're going to tweak the story. They're going to streamline a lot of the things, and I don't think it's going to be open world or anything like that, but there's got to be like a multiplayer. I don't know, like why what would be a conflict for a linear stealth game? What is it? Like
Because
there was the one thing. Real quick, I just want to throw this out because I'm going to forget. I'm going to forget. They said that they are optimizing this narrative for modern audiences. Could that be a thing?
We're still stuck in a bit of a trend where like open worlds are the popular thing, and some developers are picking up on it. Like I think that we've seen a bit of an increase when there's a lot of AA projects that are sort of going to these limited space levels, right? I honestly think that's a good move. But you take a look at something like Borderlands 4, right? And I checked out a couple reviews of Borderlands 4, and a lot of people said the open world doesn't really do much service to it. It didn't need to be there. So we're at this part where open world things are kind of there. And so I bring that specifically up because, you know, maybe that's how they want to do it, right? They want to do a remake and they want to change it so it's sort of this whole new experience. And when they say modern audiences, they say, well, we're going to follow the trends. Them thinking, well, open world games are still cool and we need some RPG mechanics and we need a right? And all of these things that the game isn't supposed to be. I think, for example, while a lot of people like it, I think, for example, to when Assassin's Creed switched over to RPG systems, right? And it didn't, I think for most people, it didn't really work in that first iteration. They've tuned it and they've changed it and updated it since. But it didn't really work. Yeah, and then you have Assassin, who you think it sucks. It almost reminds me of that. They're like Ubisoft is sitting there like, okay, how do we modernize Assassin's Creed? They're like, make it an RPG!
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And like the thing is, like, so many games back in the day used to be skill-based in every sense of the word. Like, people forget so much about how we never had any sort of golden path, like the little diamond thing that points you to where you need to go. We never had that. We just figured it out, and we were so used to it because it's all that we knew. Everything was great. So whenever we have our nostalgia glasses on and we think about the old Splinter Cell and the old Metal Gear and the old, whatever the game may be, all the things that have been, like you said, streamlined for a modern audience, all the mini maps and the waypoints and stuff like that, and the RPG elements, like everything was skill based. It was all about everything in the environment. So Splinter Cell specifically, it was about getting into a dark area, sitting there and not moving at all. And if you move just a little bit and while you're too close to an enemy, you get caught. And nowadays, like Assassin's Creed, you can just like sprint right up behind someone and they're just like, huh? And it takes forever. And it's like, and it's fine. It's fine. It's like that works. But like that might not be the best comparison, but
well, even
that has to be a conflict.
The Oblivion remaster, one of my biggest issues with it was actually stealth too, which is interesting. Like, you could genuinely, and I have it when I streamed it, I have footage of it where you can literally be not sneaking but walking around, and as long as they are not facing you, there's no audio. Like,
okay.
There's very minimal audio sensing to it, or they've done it in such a way where it's like, okay, walking produces, it's the most basic level of detection. It says walking makes this much noise and running makes this much noise, but
right.
NPCs can't hear that much. And it's, well, you need to get a little bit more like, we're in 2026, you need to, you're almost in 2026, you need to do a little bit more than that. And so Splinter Cell, when they think about, okay, it needs to be a modern audience, part of it too might be, well, let's make the game easier. That's the detection, and they don't have the ability to, if they're going to do part of the remake, they're not sitting there saying, well, we're going to make the stealth like dumb, we're not going to make the AI dumb, but they just don't know how to program it the way they used to, or they're putting their focus in other areas. They're saying, well, we're going to spend, people get mad at me when I bring up the, like, hey, developers need to focus, right? You can't be good at everything. You can't say we're gonna have the best AI, but we're also gonna have the best open world, but we're also gonna have the best RPG mechanics, but also gonna have the best like stealth, and we're gonna have the best this. You can't. You gotta pick, choose battles.
Exactly. Ion Storm says they shouldn't have pulled the modern day from AC, and hopefully they don't butcher Splinter Cell. Yeah. And then Fuzzy Tomato says, I don't have any hope for Splinter Cell. Ubisoft got so much shit for the stealth in Star Wars Outlaws, and I think they'll take all the wrong lessons from it. The stealth in AC Shadows, it really is great. And you can even make it more difficult and make it much more like a Splinter Cell, actually. Like, it's that good. I don't want to go on tangent, but Shadows stealth is so good. It's really, really good. But I think that they have learned from Outlaws, because they did completely revamp the way that the stealth segments worked in that game. But I think what we're talking about here is that two directors have left the project. And so then you ask yourself, what did those two directors have in common? What were the issues? And it has to be pushback from upper management, them trying to streamline it in some way. I don't know. Assassin, what do you think? What do you think the pushback, what do you think like the most common pushback would be between those two directors leaving? Is it Ubisoft saying, money, monetize it, multiplayer, or is it just actual creative direction?
Honestly, I think it could be both. Like, for one, and it's something that I think the three of us completely forgot, is that Ubisoft and Tencent, they formed a new subsidiary together. They house the Assassin's Creed franchise, Far Cry, and the Tom Clancy series. So it could be that these two creative directors, or maybe this recent one, they didn't like the direction that Tencent and Ubisoft were going to go with the remake. Like you said, they may, when it says modern audiences, it could be microtransactions, it could be adding stuff that doesn't fit the tone of Splinter Cell, it could be changes to gameplay that maybe conflict with how Splinter Cell has always came to be, a la Assassin's Creed RPG franchises.
Yeah.
Or it could be that maybe that the creative directors, they wanted to be faithful, but also maybe they wanted to take a risk. Maybe they wanted to add some story beats in. Maybe they wanted to take some things away and add some flair of their own. Who knows? Two creative directors leaving a game within a year of each other, that is a bit concerning. we talked about this a bit before a couple years ago with Avowed. That game went through 4 directors before it finally landed on Kerry Patel, who was the one who actually made it to the end of that game's development and release.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't... Honestly,
I have a
just
lot of
wanna
respect
see
for
it.
her.
Yeah, she stuck with it. She was proud of it, and then she left Obsidian. I
Yep.
don't know where she went, but kudos to her for getting the job done when no one else
Yeah,
apparently wanted to do it.
I have a lot of respect. That was not an easy role, and I'm sure that she got a lot of hell while she was in it. Which
Oh yeah, she took creative control after the re-reveal. That's when everyone was criticizing, oh, it's more lighthearted than what you showed in that teaser trailer 4 years ago. It's like, guys, like, it was originally supposed to be dark fantasy. It was supposed to be a Skyrim competitor, but Obsidian looked at themselves and said, no, we want something smaller. We want something more contained. We don't want to be like Bethesda. They have their own thing, and we have our own. Like, I respect that they recognize their strengths. They recognize their weaknesses. Avowed is a good RPG. It's not one of the best I've ever played. That still resides with Skyrim. In my personal opinion, as like my favorite RPG. But concerning Splinter Cell, 2 creative directors leaving in that short a time, it's not ring the alarm bells concerning, but it is making a lot of people look at it and go, are we even going to see this thing? Like, another thing, like Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake, it got a 2026 window. We're in October. When are we going to see that game? Like, not just about Splinter Cell, but they've announced like 2 or 3 projects that we have not had any updates on. No new gameplay shown, no news from the developers. I just want to see what this remake looks like and then judge it from there. But then again, this is Ubisoft, and they'll probably hold the bad news until launch, like they always do.
You're
As
right.
a Ubisoft fan, it is very hard to be a fan of theirs. It really is.
It's funny because, like, so many people crap on Ubisoft, but they all... It's like... I'm trying to, like, structure this to where it makes sense. Ubisoft always puts out top quality games. They always do. But it's their delivery that people usually get pissed off about. Like, look at Skull and Bones. You can look at that game from a far telescope, and you can say that looks like a top tier, like great graphics, like the big open ocean, the ship
it's
combat.
quadruple A.
It's quadruple A. You can look at that from a distance.
Quadruple A.
Right, and you can say,
Yeah, but
that's top quality. That's top quality. And
The first ever.
And people looked at Shadows.
You're not
and
putting enough weight behind that.
Jesse, please let me talk.
It's
No, I'm kidding.
it's
So, but
it's
yeah,
quadruple A.
it's quadruple
Yeah,
A.
but
You
DeMarco,
can't beat
at
it.
least Skull and Bones launched on like Perfect Dark.
But yeah, so Shadows came under scrutiny because of a lot of like the issues with the 2 main characters, which turned out to be great. I'm loving them because it feels like you're playing like 2 different games at the same time, and you can sort of switch between the 2. Oh yeah, Beyond Good and Evil. Who said that? Yeah, Caucasian. I'm glad you got the joke on the poll. Someone said. I'm losing it. It's fine. Red Wolf is gay. I don't know who you are, Minakata Hizuru, but thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Never seen you, but welcome.
Can't
Anyway,
confirm he's gay.
I am very, very gay for Assassin. But so Ubisoft always puts out top quality. Even Star Wars Outlaws, top quality game. But then it had all these little issues. Like the AI was awful. The stealth was awful. And again, like some of the graphical issues with the main characters, like and just not even the main character, but like other NPCs. But because they're like on a top tier, there's like this expectation for them to be perfect every single time. And I'm not making excuses for them at all. What I do expect though, whenever we do see a Splinter Cell remake, it's going to be a vertical slice. And I think it's going to be way slower paced. It's going to be much darker. It's going to be sort of like Conviction without the action. And I really hope that they nail the voice actor. But my concern with the director... You think it... Dude, that's what I said. Didn't we talk about this?
Yeah, we did. We talked about it.
Yeah.
I think like 2 weeks ago, I brought up the fact that, hey, the Splinter Cell Netflix show is coming. You're like, oh, yeah. And like Schreiber has actually done a pretty decent job. But,
yeah,
you know, you said it yourself. Michael Ironside is Sam Fisher. But Schreiber actually does make a pretty good impression from what I've seen. So, yeah, maybe that's why we're getting a remake with Schreiber.
That would be great. If for anyone who doesn't know who Liev Schreiber is, he's Sabretooth in the amazing X-Men movie, X-Men Wolverine Oranges. Wolverine Oranges. But yeah, I don't know. It's just really concerning. Like, can you guys think of any other titles that have came out where multiple people left during development and then it came out and it was okay?
Anthem. No, wait. Oh, you said okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Like, Anthem came out and it was like, woof.
And that was hot shit at the time.
I think
that happened with Andromeda.
Dragon Age. Yes, it did. It happened with Andromeda. It happened with Dragon Age. BioWare is famous for that nowadays. It's not the same BioWare,
but
God
Andromeda,
damn it, BioWare.
Andromeda had like, I mean, its release was piss poor, but like it had okay bones to it, in my opinion. So that was an example where a game came out okay. That's what you were asking for.
Which
For
game?
$70 though.
Andromeda.
Yeah, and it was okay.
Like it had bones to it. It was okay.
Yeah, it was the tone that
a lot of
threw me
issues.
off. Yeah,
A lot of issues.
Maverick says Dead Island 2.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that was like development hell. Like we just stopped hearing about it after a while.
Beyond Good and Evil 2. Oh wait,
That's not out yet. Yeah,
That's never coming
out. Who brought
out.
that up? Someone in chat brought that up, and it was a really good.
It was Maverick.
Is BT Maverick? Oh yeah, Splinter Cell will come out when Beyond Good and Evil does.
No.
Which that game has been in development for like 12 years or something. It's insane.
To which I responded. So never.
So never. Right. Exactly.
It's never coming out.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
Let's see. Minakata Hazuru says Last Prince of Persia was not in Persia, and the main character was not Persian. And then he called me gay, which is great. Lotus Esprit, literally what is happening. I thought I was the only gay Jew up in here. Shout out to Lotus Esprit. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you so much. I hope you're doing well. Lotus is a legend. Ion says, I'm finishing Shadows at the moment. My only and my one issue is they need to streamline the world more. The side missions are a bit disjointed. They are. Yeah, it's sort of like you're running around the world and just like bumping into side content. And then whenever, like you meet someone and she's like, I need an apple for my father, and you're like, why? Okay, I guess I'll run across the world and do that for you real quick. I'm in the middle of something very important. But yeah, I totally get it. Andromeda was so boring.
That's how people work, though. They sit on the side of the road and wait for you brave hero, to come give me an apple. You're so brave, warrior.
Thank you so much.
Calm down there,
Thank you,
Dungeons and
adventurer.
Dragons.
Yeah. So, but I am I guess my biggest hope for Splinter Cell Remake is that it retains its pacing. As much as I love Conviction and Blacklist, I would love to see something a little more slower and a little more skill-based, because Blacklist and Conviction were very fast-paced in comparison to the other games, and they added the marking system, which is absolutely incredible. And it's the John Wick game before we ever got a John Wick game. It's so fucking awesome. Like, I love it so much. So I just hope that they can balance those two things, because if they don't have the marking system that they had in Blacklist and Conviction, I think people would be very upset. But it's going to be a hard thing to balance. And I'm sure that these are some of the like, are we retelling Sam Fisher's story? Are we like recasting? And like, you know, recasting characters. Like Lambert was like one of the biggest characters in that franchise, and I think that voice actor sadly passed away. Michael Ironside, he is not doing very well health wise. He doesn't even sound the same because he's a narrator in the movie Late Night with the Devil or Midnight with the Devil, something like that. And you hear him talk and you're like, oh, not the same. You know, he's aged up. You know, but yeah, DeMarco, were you big into Splinter Cell? No, okay.
Never played any of them.
Okay, great.
Neither have I, but you know how much I love stealth. I want to make a bet, Red.
Yes, please.
I want to make a bet. Do you think that we're going to see it at the Game Awards this year?
No.
I think we might.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I think we might see
what better way for Ubisoft to get everyone's eyes on stage to like, hey, we know that you guys are a bit concerned about this remake that we're making. Let's show you a bit of it.
I mean,
we got nothing else planned.
In this day and age, well, in this day and age with video games, like vertical slices don't do shit. We just saw what happened with Perfect Dark. Like, it's not going to give me any faith. It's not going to make me feel better. Like, oh, there it is. You know what I mean? Like,
but Red, you got to remember, Ubisoft doesn't disappoint us like Microsoft does.
Skull and Bones.
Okay, maybe they do.
Yeah.
Quadruple A.
Dude, Ubisoft, okay, maybe they do.
Ubisoft courts. Keep in mind, Ubisoft courts. Nepotism within Ubisoft. 2 game directors leaving. What do you mean they don't disappoint?
Yeah,
Star Wars,
right.
Their new Star Wars game, failing missions if you don't do... You like stealth? What about the Star Wars game that made you start the mission over if you failed the stealth?
Right, exactly, exactly. I love Minikata. I love
Bethesda
you.
Addict. I said they're not as bad as Microsoft.
They're worse. They were the ones like their CEO was the one that's like, actually, we think NFTs are like the future of gaming, and they like made a full-on NFT game, thinking that that was going to be the entire future. They're arguably, well, not modern Microsoft is being pretty naughty, but Ubisoft, I would say, is on the same page.
They haven't shut down studios yet.
Well, they
we'll see how this subsidiary goes.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm saying if Microsoft is like a 10 out of 10
this company's
bad,
a nepo baby.
I'm saying like if Microsoft was 10 out of 10 bad, Ubisoft is like 9.5 out of 10 bad.
Baby.
Nepo
like
company. It's a
barely just hitting the mark.
Yeah, but I am optimistic. Sorry. Cautiously, or as I said in the poll, they're Caucasianly optimistic. And let's see, True 77 looking forward to Exodus. Apparently, their side quests are actually going to be meaningful and not random BS. Yes. Very excited for. I don't know. I'm optimistic about Exodus. I'm not really sure about it. What?
Thank you, Arcade.
Ubisoft isn't worse. It's just more pathetic than Microsoft. That's the difference.
It's just the difference.
Yeah. Which is that's a good. I mean, congratulations. That's a trophy worthy. Yeah, Exodus has got weird art style and looks like you're fighting big monsters and robots, and I don't like that. But we'll see. Maybe I just haven't seen enough of it.
I will say the human. There's like one screenshot, and it's a new screenshot too for Exodus that they shared, where like the protagonist is really close to the camera, kind of like this, and his head just like, I don't know what it is, like that particular screenshot. I'm sure it's done in a cutscene where they move up to the camera and they just got a still, and that was a still they pulled out, so you'll see it for half a second. But for some reason, every time I look at that screenshot, I'm like, your head is too big or too small.
It's like square, or something. Yeah, it's like everyone is like stylized like a Disney movie, like the old.
Well,
Disney
I wouldn't
movies.
go that far, but yeah, that's just the one screenshot too.
Yeah.
But I think that game will definitively pull through based on its choice and consequence. It'll sort of live and die by that. And then if it can hold up the candle with combat, because if they can look at Mass Effect combat and they say, hey, we're gonna do it better though.
Exactly.
They actually have a plan.
I am very excited for Exodus and Expanse, but I'm cautious about Exodus more if I were to compare the two. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Studios.
I really appreciate it. Over 30 people here tonight, which is really kind of contrary to my expectation. We'll see what happens at 7 o'clock. But thank you guys so much for being here. Please hit the like button. If you're new, it really helps out a lot. And I am talking to you. I'm not talking to chat. I'm talking to you listening. Please, yes, you. Pause your game, hit the like button. It helps a lot. Thank you so much. Yes, like Lotus said, smash and sub immediately. I'm going to end this poll. It looks like 47% are Caucasianly optimistic, and 47. It's a hit split right down the middle. Elemental Hero Shadowling Dragon Wolf King says, I mean, why should we trust Ubisoft in the Game Awards if we haven't seen Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake, and fans of Prince of Persia weren't happy since that announcement? Yeah. In a lot of these companies are leaning into remakes, sort of following the Capcom, which I guess we can just go right into that. Capcom remaking games and just absolutely excelling at it and just knocking it out of the park. A lot of these companies are going to start trying to follow suit and trying to match that quality. And you think that they would have the ability to do that whenever they have thousands and thousands of developers across different countries like Ubisoft does. Ubisoft is a French-focused company, but they have studios all over the place, and they help each other. Assassin's Creed Shadow had like over 1,000 developers in different departments. Like one department focuses on just the animation, the other one just does combat, the AI, blah, blah, blah. And it shows. There might be like little hiccups here and there, but I feel like whenever a game is super, super polished and it feels really great to play and the combat feels really great, the stealth feels really great, the animations when you're walking or running feels really great, it is extremely, way more noticeable when there is a hiccup or a bug. It stands out way more. Like whenever you're playing Bethesda and you're like kind of trotting around and like you run into a wall and you're like, oh, and you just kind of just whatever, you just move on with your life. But you're playing something like a Naughty Dog game, like Last of Us, and Joel like glitches and does like a 360 spin around. You're like, what the fuck? It's so jarring and so I'm just saying.
You know who else?
Ubisoft gets a lot of shit for that. Yeah.
Rockstar Games as well.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever there's
So
bugs in
well
GTA
optimized.
or Red Dead, yeah, and you're like, what the hell?
Even the bugs are like, what the hell?
They're so much more jarring because the games are so much more polished. So I would just say that Ubisoft does get a lot of hate, but you know, they have good games. But let's just hope that this new director that they don't have yet, the next one, the third director, which is crazy to say, they stick around. Third time's the charm. But I don't know, man.
Yeah. Hey, DeMarco,
we'll
didn't you say you were moving to Toronto?
Yeah, you said that last week, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
Assassin,
Great.
please take us into this news as I pee live on air about Resident Evil. Another remake coming.
He just tossed it to me when I was not even ready. He could have gave me a heads up.
Heads up.
It's... Damn it, Red. Okay, let me go back and find it. Okay, so... I don't know who actually reported on this first. All I know is that people like Hazador and Shinobi, they shared it across social media, so I'm just gonna read it from Hazador. A Resident Evil 0 remake is in development, with an expanded plot and new casting. The project is overseen by Beyond Capture Studios. Okay. It's also a motion capture company that has previously collaborated with Capcom on the remake of RE4 and Street Fighter 6. Apparently, one of the characters, I don't remember which one,
Uh-oh. Womp womp. I have no idea what the rest of this story... Oh, there we go. Welcome back.
I hit a button. Damn it. Anyway, so where did I lose you?
Apparently one of the directors, and then you buzzed on out.
Oh, I meant to say one of the actors. One of the new castings, or I guess I should say recasting, is I think the character's name is Billy Cohen, if I recall. Apparently his new actor was actually the actual actor behind Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy, the 2021 video game.
Oh, he was super good.
So hey, maybe he's gonna make. I have no idea. I never played that game. I really should at this point.
Yeah.
So
it was
yeah.
amazing.
So apparently we're getting a remake of Resident Evil 0. We're getting RE9 next year, which I'm assuming. Well, me and Red are excited for it. I'm assuming DeMarco is too.
It depends on the way they do it, but yeah.
Well, we're gonna get more footage and gameplay in the coming months. But apparently we're also getting a remake of Code Veronica, which I'm assuming is the one that the fan base has been asking for the most in terms of the remake asking for. But anyway, yeah, Resident Evil getting more remakes while also getting a new mainline entry. I think
That's
it's safe to
exciting.
say that. I think it's safe to say that Resident Evil is on top of the world right now, DeMarco. I don't know how you feel about that, but why don't you tell us? Would you like to play a Resident Evil 0 remake? I never played the original, but I'm interested. But what about you?
No, because for me, the thing about Resident Evil that I like are the modern games, right? I think it's kind of a cool thing to be able to say, you know, Resident Evil in its modern iteration, starting with Biohazard, has fostered a new audience for Resident Evil games, and I would be part of that new audience. I played the Resident Evil where you punch the rocks. That one, you know, was
Oh my
fine.
god, fine.
Fine. That one was fine. I played that one.
Chris
but-
Redfield, that boulder punching asshole.
That was my introduction. That was actually one of my introductions to Resident Evil. But yeah, so I can't say that I'm really necessarily eager for any of the older stuff, but
Fair.
I would just say I think it's very exciting for Resident Evil fans to be able to get them, especially because Capcom's been doing a very good job with the remakes, and they've been very respectful of what those games mean and bringing them to modern audiences. But for fans of the franchise, I'm very excited, and I'm also it's cool to me that they're doing it right, which is to say they're releasing these remakes and they are presumably using it to buy them some time for the next Resident Evil game, right? The next full proper entry in the series, and that's good, both from a monetary perspective and from a just keeping your audience engaged with the IP perspective.
Yeah.
And I think that's really that's the proper way to do it. That's the proper way to do it. That's sort of what we're seeing Bethesda do, and it's what we're going to see with the Fallout 3 remaster, and you know, sort of what Fallout 76 is able to accomplish to a lesser extent. But that's the right way to do it, and I hope all the best. I hope it does well.
Me too. I have a question for Red, since since he technically put me in charge of this topic, since he left me.
I left you.
So Red, I know you recently played Resident Evil 0. I don't think you knew that Billy Cohen's new voice actor is rumored to be Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy 2021,
Dude,
the one from Square Enix.
we were just talking about him last night.
Yeah, we were just talking about this last night. So
No, me and
I
DeMarco,
technically have
not
two
you.
questions. Oh wait, we talked about it 2 nights ago, didn't we? When we were playing Battlefield.
I guess we actually did bring up Guardians. Yeah, but go ahead.
Oh well, we brought up the RE0 part, but yeah, question for you, Red. But we know that there's a rumored Code Veronica remake in development as well, alongside a remake of 0. So you're probably just as big as an RE fan as I am.
Yes.
Are you excited more for a 0 remake or Code Veronica, or what would you want out of those two, or just 0 in general, since that's technically also been confirmed?
I think I'm more excited for Veronica. I'm excited equally to play them both. I think in terms of the changes that they'll make between 0 and Veronica, I'm more excited for Veronica because for anyone who hasn't played Veronica, let me just start off with this. Elemental Shadow says, I don't have trust on this Resident Evil and Code Veronica remake. I feel like they'll change anything from the original and not keeping it to the original. So what I'll say to that is, if you have played that game recently, there are things in Code Veronica that just would not fly today at all, and there is a specific character who is just like he's so over the top and so creepy to Claire Redfield. He's just so like, Claire. It's just so over the top and like anime ooh woo, and he's just a creep. But like they play it off back in '99 or '98 whenever the game came out. Or no, I think it's like 2001 or something. Whenever the game first came out, they play it off like he's just a sweet kid and he's misunderstood because of the because of the translation from Japanese delivery to American delivery. It does not translate. We see this all the time with anime in general, anime or JRPGs, that kind of stuff. It puts people off. So there's a lot of even in Resident Evil 0, Billy does a lot of like, hey little girl, like you need some help with that. I'm like, bro, why did you say that? Why did you say that to her, to Rebecca? Why are you being a creep? That's the kind of stuff that are going to be fundamentally changed, I promise you. So that and of course both games have the fixed camera, the tank controls, which I think work really great in a horror sense, but for a modern audience, I don't think it vibes with everyone. I could see something where they change it to allow you to have like a fixed camera perspective at the click of a button. I don't know if they're going to go out of their way to do all that, because it seems like what they've done with Resident Evil in general, with remakes 2, 3, and I think they stuck with it in 1. They just said F the fixed camera altogether, and they just did their own thing, and it's worked out great. My long-winded answer is that I'm excited for both, but I'm more curious for Code Veronica, because that one character, Steve, that's the character's name. Just go.
It sounds like a creep to me.
Just go look. Just go look at Steve scenes from Code Veronica. I'm sure someone has to have made a compilation, and you will be like, "What the fuck? Like, why was this everyone's favorite Resident Evil game?" Anyway, it's insane. There's a scene where he like sees. Never mind. I don't want to spoil anything. Because I'm sure that they'll twist it and make it more emotional, but it's ridiculous. So anyway,
okay.
Drake Williams, thank you so much for being here. Good to see you. Frost, shout out to you, man. Thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget to hit the like button. I know I hate saying this a lot. We have 41 people here. I don't know what the hell y'all are doing here, but since you're here, please hit the like button. That'd be amazing. It would help a lot. Let me see. Minikata says, here it starts. It will be dog shit already. From Veronica to Veronica Crimson Jaw Giga Chad. I don't know about that. I mean,
I don't think they would do that to Claire. I don't think they would do that to Claire.
Because Claire's already an established character. I'm sure that they'll take the assets from 2, and sort of level her up a little bit. I don't think they're gonna do that. Fuzzy Tomato, there's been more Resident Evil games than Call of Duty games. Yeah, it's true. It's very, very true. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. DeMarco, did you have anything else to say about Resident Evil? You're not really like huge.
No,
he's not fully into it like you and I are.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not exactly my yeah.
It's not made by Bethesda, so he's not interested.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's such an old joke that never gets old. I love how you say it every time, and it just gets a laugh out of all of us.
I have not said that. In a very long time.
You need new material. You need new material. Let's talk about, speaking of new material, let's talk about Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers is apparently up for sale.
That transition.
Yeah, and they definitely need some new material, because man, what an absolute shit show this is. So it's notorious. So apparently Warner Brothers is up for sale. They oversee anything DC or like a lot of the Lord of the Rings games. So they were responsible for the catastrophe that was the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, because they're the ones that pushed the monetization and blah blah blah. Otherwise, I feel like we could have got a great Suicide Squad game set in the Arkham universe if it wasn't for them. But that game was a colossal failure, lost them a ton of money. And I'm curious about this, if you guys know more than I do, because I read the article, but it just said Warner Brothers. This is just Warner Brothers, right? This isn't just, or is this the gaming branch of Warner Brothers?
So it's Warner Brothers Discovery, right? it's WBD, and Warner Bros. Discovery, there's a lot going on with the situation because they're already trying to split into a business and a global network division, which would kind of separate part of their portfolio. Now, there's something to be said that, or there's separate to be said that, or something to be said that they are trying to make sure that they don't run into issues, that this was the plan all along to sell the company. It would be part of probably all of its divisions, honestly, but a studio like Paramount can step in and say, okay, we just want the streaming and the studios. Like, we don't want to have the rest, and your global network, like, that can still exist. They also, and they might be doing that intentionally because they're trying to avoid what happened when they did merge with Discovery and they had a big FTC issue, and they took on a lot of debt when they did that. Now they're trying to recover that debt. Sounds a bit similar, like a little bit of an Activision Blizzard purchase. So, that being said, games be affected, streaming services would be affected, and the actual IPs that they own, as well as there's things like the property too, right? The actual film studios and stuff, that's all part of it. So it's a lot bigger than just one thing, and that's why we saw, it was Paramount, I think, before was chomping at the bit to try to invest and gain the rights. And overall, it's a scary thing because it's market conglomeration. However, after the announcement this morning, their shares actually rose by 10%. So there's a lot of investor interest, and Warner Brothers wants to sell, and there's a lot of market interest and investor interest as well. It's not good overall.
Yep. You mentioned conglomeration something or other in your tweet today?
So, similar to what we're seeing with Activision Blizzard, right? When they bought Discovery, they went into $40 billion of debt. When they took on when they took on Discovery and they did that merger, now they're trying to find ways to mitigate that debt. That's the problem with some of this consolidation. But who's to say, right? When now another studio steps in and they say, well, we're gonna buy the streaming division, we're gonna buy the IP to Lord of the Rings, whatever they want to do. When this deal finalizes, who's to say that the new studio that purchases this is not going to run into the same exact issues? And then they're going to have a bunch of layoffs, and they're going to change the direction, and on top of that too, you're just running into a situation where it's not necessarily sustainable. I think that this Activision Blizzard deal is the closest thing that obviously our audience can look at, and you see how it's impacted things like Game Pass, right? How it's impacted how Microsoft is really seemingly taken a big foothold into what Xbox does, and I would say not for the better. Just today, Xbox announced that they were increasing hardware for developers, the developer tools. They're increasing the price of that to $2,000 a pop, and so Microsoft consolidating with Activision Blizzard. King, it's the biggest deal in gaming history, and that has not been good for the industry. That's not been good for games. That's not been good for uniqueness of IPs, because now that company has a lot of debt that they need to pay off, they're not going to take as many risks. So that means, congrats, you are going to get, like, we're seeing, for example, from Bethesda, we're seeing 70,000 things from Fallout going on. And it's exciting right now because Fallout fans have been hungry for stuff. But we're getting the TV show, we're getting merchandise, we're getting another season, we're getting more games, we're gonna get remakes, we're gonna get remasters, we're gonna get a spin-off title, we're gonna get Fallout 5. Like, there's a moment where it kind of reaches this precipice, and it's what happened with Call of Duty. People started getting tired with Call of Duty. People are gonna start getting a little bit tired with Fallout. I think, other than, obviously, there's always gonna be this really dedicated fan base, but that's what consolidation does. Right, to bring it back to the original point, that's what consolidation does. Is it reduces the amount of ability you have to take risks, because these deals keep getting more and more expensive, and these studios can only do what's popular. So your surprise games like a Hi-Fi Rush, like a Pentiment, your opportunities for Xbox to develop something like Exodus, or to develop something like The Expanse, or any of these other.
Yep.
These AA studios, it's prime for them. It's prime for them to come in and make these experiences. That's why we see something like Baldur's Gate 3. Xbox would never make a Baldur's Gate 3. An isometric turn-based RPG that they need to put into early access to get feedback for the community, and early access for years, which turns out making unanimous game of the year, your Expedition 33s. Like, they're not going to invest in those games because they need to make sure that Call of Duty comes back out. So now with this Warner Brothers merger, even if you look at it from the games division, right, the studio is going to buy it. They're doing it mostly for the film and TV rights. So if games are impacted, it's not going to be for the better, because I promise you, unless you think Paramount Plus knows how to run a game studio,
so I guess
that's not for the best.
Right.
Especially when it's with IPs. The last thing I'll say is, especially when it's with IPs like Lord of the Rings. Or, I mean, you do have Harry Potter, which was the only thing that did well for Warner Brothers as far as games goes. The only thing. They had financial flops left and right. But you have incredible IPs. You have Game of Thrones. You have freaking... And they wanted Bethesda to make a Game of Thrones game, which is interesting. But you have Game of Thrones. You have Lord of the Rings. You have Harry Potter. You have all of your legacy things, like what was in Multiverses, which is weird to say, but Iron Giant, Adventure Time, which is getting a movie, so it's still popular enough. Like, you have the Looney Tunes characters, and I know that's not Tom and Jerry. I know that's not as big as Lord of the Rings, but there's so many IPs, and it's just these studios don't know what to do with them. And it's not going to be any better for gaming.
Yeah, and I guess, like, with my naive helmet on, whatever. I would hope that, because we see every other day, like, a new developer comes out, or a former developer comes out, like the former developer on God of War comes out and says, like, AAA gaming isn't sustainable. And we're looking at games like, what's the game that just came out? Assassin? Ball Pit. Who was made by one man, same as Vampire Survivors, Stardew Valley, right? These smaller type games that are really low budget. They may take a while, but they're strong in numbers in terms of how many of these smaller games can just blow up and just. I mean, Ball Pit, I think, sold like over 400,000 copies, or 400,000 players.
Because they're taking risks.
Right, and the developer of the ex-developer from God of War said that first make your games fun, do that first, and then you can worry about, is the grass blowing in the right direction when I walk past it, or whenever I step in a mud what the hell am I trying to say? A mud puddle. Is my footprint going to be there? Worry about that last, right? Don't just make the game fun first. And a lot of these games, of course, they're tied to IP that we have grown to love over the past 20 years or so. So games like that can get away with being artsy-fartsy. But hopefully, whatever happens next, I hope that the people whoever decides to buy Warner Brothers, whoever decides to focus on the games division of Warner Brothers decides to say, sure, let's have a AA Lord of the Rings game, right? We already know that there's a Lord of the Rings game that's AAA in scope from Warner Brothers, obviously under Warner Brothers. But I would hope that best case scenario.
to rival Hogwarts Legacy, which I think you're trying to capture lightning in a bottle with that one, because
Yeah.
the audience for Hogwarts Legacy is not the audience for Lord of the Rings, and I know because I interacted with a lot of them when I made a video that just exploded on that content, and you could tell, like, based on those comments, that is just not the same types of people.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. It's just
Yeah.
different people like Harry Potter than dark fantasy.
Right. And I would hope like I would love to see like a Quidditch game that's not dumb, which I don't know if that Quidditch game is out. Did it just come and go? I don't know if it's out, but just stuff like
Quidditch
that where
came out and it did not do well. It was part of those flops that.
and yeah, and it's
that
like
came for that.
what if that would have been so like, and I feel like that was another decision by Warner Brothers. Hogwarts Legacy developers, they go to Warner Brothers and they say, we want to put Quidditch in the game. That's another feature we're gonna have where you go to class and you do this, you learn spell. And they go, wait, Quidditch, right? That's where you're multiple. We can monetize that. Don't put that in the game. Don't put that in the game. Well, let's make a separate thing. We'll get another studio. We'll have them work on that, and it failed. And I guarantee you, there's no reason. There's a whole arena in Hogwarts Legacy for Quidditch, and nothing ever happens with it. There's like one little side quest where you fucking run around little rings, and that's it. I guarantee you. And what I say that to say,
Well,
I hope that whatever happens next with these, because Warner Brothers wants the big bank, right? They want the big bank, and they said Suicide Squad. It's DC. All these popular characters. The movie just came out a few years ago. Let's capitalize on this. Let's make it a big. Make it last forever, right? Instead of saying let's have like a handful of beloved IP games that are on the AA scale. Like, think of like, I would love to see. You remember Lord of the Rings: Third Age for Xbox Original? I loved that game.
No.
It was a turn-based open hub game where you had like you played as a Gondorian. Am I saying that right? I hope. You play as you play as you have an elf, you have a dwarf, like you have all like the archetypes of Lord of the Rings. But it was like a turn-based adventure game. It was really good for its time, Xbox Original. But those types of things I would that's the best case scenario. I'm being the optimist here. That's whatever the buyout is. I hope that they're more lenient with whatever. Now, someone in chat, I think it was Arcane, said in chat, Warner Brothers is in debt. Billions in debt. All these companies are in debt. EA just got bought out, right? Because they are in debt. How to get your debt paid off? Get bought out. $20 billion in debt or something ridiculous, right? But creatively speaking, it really depends on
these
who buys
companies, they're so, a lot of the times too is that they're so overvalued and they get bought at that value. And then what happens is they realize that it's cyclical. We've seen it time and time again. They're overvalued. They buy this company and then they go, oh shoot, we don't have the infrastructure to implement this, and we actually don't know how to properly do this. So then they go, okay, how can we fix this? Well, layoffs. And that's the first thing that happens. Always. 10 out of 10 times. Layoffs. So then they lay people off. Then they realize, oh shoot, we got rid of the people, because they'll do it in a couple ways. They'll get rid of middle management, which sometimes you do need to clean that level out, right? Because too many cooks is a problem. Say, okay, get rid of it. Like, and then they realize, oh shoot, we got rid of the person who was making too much money too, but he was actually really good at his job. Because they're doing this like a lottery. They don't know who these people are. Paramount doesn't know who's working at Warner Brothers. And they say, okay, and then the executives leave, which a lot of times we celebrate the passing, like, executives going. I'm not going to shed a tear if David Zaslav gets the boot, you know, but...
Yeah, Zoloft, as I like to call him.
Yeah, but I'm not going to shed a tear if he leaves, but also at the same time, there is this level of thinking like, okay, yeah, he's not doing good, but some new person stepping in, it's not as though suddenly whoever buys it is going to step in and they're going to get this guy who randomly is like, I love video games and I love Lord of the Rings and I want to make the best Lord of the Rings. Like, that's not the person they're getting. They're getting another suit. There's going to be another suit to replace the suit that left. And so
yeah,
Now they have all this debt. They put in someone new. That person there is just trying to do things for the money. They don't have any idea how to cater properly to the audience. The audience gets screwed, we as the fans, no matter what happens. Then they go, shoot, okay, well, Lord of the Rings, I think actually, because they can't recognize that they had their own failures, they released this new Lord of the Rings game. It does terribly because it's completely outside of what their demographic should be or is. And then they say, oh, yeah, you know, well, we just realized that, like, Lord of the Rings isn't popular anymore. And people just don't care about that. And we got to do, like, we just got to double down on Harry Potter now, which is what they're already doing, right? Warner Brothers came out a while ago and said, we are just doubling down on, I forget the exact titles, but it was Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and probably... I can't remember exactly which ones they said, but it was like 3 or 4 that they said we're tripling down on those. So it's just it's not necessarily for the best.
Yeah, Assassin, do you have any thoughts, fears, worries?
First of all, you guys have pretty much said everything that I wanted to say, but thing that I'll mention here is as far as their gaming division goes, I already know. I've seen a few people on Twitter already thinking about maybe having Microsoft or Sony or Embracer buy them out, and I just want to say, fuck all of y'all. No. Why don't we just let these studios become independent? Like, for fuck's sake. I know that's not a possibility.
Yeah, some of them
with
can't
how much
back out.
debt Warner Brothers are. I know they can't.
Yeah.
They can't.
And also
It
problem...
doesn't matter what we do or who gets bought. Innocent developers are going to get screwed over. IPs are going to be changed forever, whether we like it or not. It's just a complete clusterfuck because the heads at WB and Discovery thought that they could actually make this work, and it took them, what, 2-3 years to realize that, oh shit, it's not going to work. We got to do something about this, and it's just like Rocksteady. Again, going back to the gaming division, Rocksteady, their reputation is practically in ruins by now. Yes, they made great Batman games, but Suicide Squad pretty much destroyed 90% of the goodwill that they had. Now we just look at Rocksteady and go, hey, whatever happened to the Arkham devs? What happened to them? Then a few months ago, I don't know if you remember this, DeMarco, when I brought up Hogwarts Legacy 2 is a live service, and you double-checked and you went, oh, live service. Wonderful.
They might pivot on that, though. It was intended
This is
at the
WB.
time.
I don't think so. This is WB.
Well...
No. This is Warner Brothers we're talking about. Absolutely not. Let's see.
Yeah, and Avowed was supposed to be an
NetherRealm?
MMO. And that's Xbox.
Yeah, yikey. Yeah.
Honestly?
Yeah.
Fair point. But still, anyway.
Yeah.
Their gaming division is in serious trouble, Red. That's all I really gotta say about it. And for the love of God, don't let it be Sony or Disney. Or I don't want it to be Sony, Microsoft, or Disney.
Or
especially.
Disney. I was gonna say Disney is in rough shape too.
No.
God, did you guys see?
This is also all among two. It's worth mentioning. HBO just came out and raised their prices for HBO Max.
Oh yeah, I saw your little tweet about.
Yeah, it's fucking.
And it's raining again, or whatever you said.
Another one bites the dust. I can't afford all
another one
these...
bites the dust.
And another one gone, and another one gone. I can't afford all this stuff. Like I can't afford all this stuff, and they just raise their prices by $1. Yeah, it is $1. Well, Yarhar Minikata, if I pronounce that right, I apologize. Yarhar, the seas be calling laddies, but
indeed.
Yeah, it's by $1, but it's $1 on top of the increased subscription for the 4 other things I'm paying for, right? It's not just the $1.
Elemental.
And then it becomes like, okay, it is $1 more. It's a reminder that you're paying for it. Now it's a reminder that you're paying more for it, and you reevaluate. You're like, how much am I actually using this? And to be fair, HBO is the one that I watch the most because it has most of my favorite shows. Like, I watch Adventure Time on repeat every year. I just watched Barry, which was incredible. you know, there's a lot of stuff. I like all the DC stuff that I go back and I'm watching, like the Batman animated series,
Yeah.
the original. So there's a lot of stuff on there that I do like, but even that I go, I'll just buy Adventure Time on DVD at this point. You know,
Right. Mine is
physical's
Hulu,
making a comeback in that regard.
because I don't watch a lot of reality TV. I don't. But what I do watch is Gordon Ramsay stuff. I love that stuff, and I love. There's a show called Special Forces. It's another reality show. They take celebrities and they put them through Special Forces training, and it's the best thing in the world. You get to see, like, Jussie Smollett was just on this season. If you guys know anything about... Anyway, there's a lot of controversial people, celebrities that go on the show, and they just get put through hell, and you get to see their human side, and it's very emotional, and it's just so interesting to watch. But
Is James Gunn a contestant?
James Gunn's on there. Like, that's how his hair turned white. He went on that show and he went through so much shit. He was like full on snowman. But anyway, yeah, again, thank you guys so much for being here. Again, this is the Renegade Realm podcast. We go live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you. See you in chat. For those of you not chatting in chat, saying hello, that's fine. You don't have to. But I would love to see you say, hey, that's it. That'd be great. If you could do that, that'd be great. Thank you guys so much for being here. So let's move on to the good news. Wacko Games, he brought up a good point that I did want to talk about. Good news. Premium high-end hardware coming from Xbox. Really, thank you, Frost. Thank you, Lotus. I was talking about the people who don't usually say hello, but thank you for saying hello anyway. Really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. Sarah Bond just came out and just reassured everyone we are coming out with Xbox consoles, hardware, whatever you want to call it, high-end premium, meaning $1,000 plus consoles that is coming. And
1,500
or 1,500, yeah. And it's I listened to another show. Shout out to Jamie Moran, who is actually live right now alongside. They literally start and end as we start and end. And it will cost 1,200 euros. Minikata says. They were talking about.
He's actually not doing the show.
Is he not?
I just saw his tweet. He said he's sick. So he's
Probably because
tomorrow.
he started getting sick after the Splinter Cell news came out, because you know how much he loves Splinter Cell. He's like, ugh! Anyway, so yeah, I hope he feels better. I hate to hear that though. He seems like a really good dude. I was gonna say I'd love to have him on sometime, but how? It's literally the same time. But anyway, what the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah, Xbox hardware. Let me know, guys, in chat. Well, how do you feel about the future of Xbox hardware? And I mean that genuinely. Are you excited about the prospect of a console that, as DeMarco would tell you, opens up all storefronts, competition that we usually don't engage with, because it's typically not typically it is. It's all PC centric storefronts. So things like GOG, which I know Jonas is like. I mean, so many people love GOG because they allow you to. There is no DRM, correct me. I'm probably not saying that correctly.
It's DRM free, and
DRM
free. Their whole thing is ownership. So you can, when you download a game, you get all the files to that. So it's actually, GOG is actually more secure than a disc, because discs you're downloading files from servers, right? To get. When you buy a game from GOG, discs are basically digital or physical licenses, right? It's the same thing as
like
buying a game from Steam.
Yeah.
It's legitimately the exact same thing. When you buy a disc, the game is not on the disc. So when you buy from GOG, you actually get the game. Like, you get all the files, you can download them, you can put them on a flash drive. If you have a big enough flash drive, you can stick it all on that, and then you can move it wherever you want. You can take it with you, you can carry it, you can put it on a brand new PC. It's yours. You own it. So that is one of the big benefits about GOG. It's genuinely more secure than physical games.
Yeah, so you have that option. You also have Epic Game Store. That, again, this is all potential because this is the rumors that we've been hearing for almost 2 years now about the next gen console for Xbox. You have Steam, obviously. You would have access to, I can't think of anything, the other storefronts that are on PC that are competitors in the gaming space that we usually don't hear about, because typically a lot of the people that play on Steam, is DeMarco, you can speak to this. You just go where the best. You just go wherever the best deal is. It's not like you're beholden to any platform. Some people just specifically build exactly right. So that's what you do. I know Arcane, if he's still here, I know he specifically almost exclusively sticks to Steam because that's like where his whole library is. That's his ecosystem. But I do want to know again. I see you guys popping off in chat. I do want to hear. Are you excited about this? Like, you get all your Xbox games, Steam, which means you get your PlayStation games. You go on Epic Store, you open it up there. Imagine your Xbox. Forget Xbox. Imagine your console.
Imagine a PC.
Right. Imagine a PC that you press a button, it comes on, and that's it. And just imagine that.
Like
and
you
pick up
PC.
your controller, and you're playing your game just the same way that you play
you can do
a console
currently. Like you can do currently on a PC.
Shut up. Let me. You know what
Imagine you just had a PC in front of you, and it worked, and you can play games on it, and you have the next gen Xbox.
But for the people,
imagine that.
But for the people who are plug and play console only users, imagine just turning on your Xbox and everything
PC
boots
too,
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you have Steam, you have Epic, you have everything, and this includes everything PlayStation because, as you guys know that follow this podcast, we don't like exclusivity. I think it's anti-consumer, and I don't like it. Assassin loves it. Love it.
I think it's necessary. I didn't say I liked it.
And your argument to that is you think it's necessary because competition, right? Like you think competition, the exclusivity competition, right? Because it brings value to the platform.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Let me read
That's what the entire industry has been built upon, and just because one wants to change that does not mean that the rest will follow. And that it's not necessarily a good thing.
Okay. Are you playing something right now?
No. Why?
You're lying out your ass.
I will literally take a picture, Red, of what my screen looks like. But if
as
I do,
he
you
turns
gotta
everything off, throws his controller across the room. I'm not playing anything. See, Lotus Esprit says, wonderful news. I just ordered the new Logitech G Cloud Midnight Black Edition. Oh, that sounds fantastic. I'm so excited to have Redfall, Hogwarts, Forza on the go for $300. Damn. I've heard the Logitech is really good. That's the one before this, right? It's like the white. Well, I guess Lotus got the black edition, but Minikata says I bought Cyberpunk on GOG for $22. Game Pass, it's $30. Right. Game on Jesse. Is that Xbox era Jesse? I feel like I asked it before.
No,
I wanted Microsoft to make premium move. I wanted Microsoft to make the premium move. I think they needed to. They were never going to appeal to the masses. Right. And we talked to Colt Eastwood. I was talking to him behind the scenes, and I think he actually talked about this on his show after the fact, and he said him and another content creator did the math in that Microsoft raising the price to $30 while losing a ton of subscribers, they actually made money off of the price hike, regardless however many people that they lost. So that's business, and it sucks.
Look, Microsoft isn't a stupid company, and if you think they are, then you're stupid. They
see the numbers that we don't. Yeah.
They know the numbers. They have people who are professionally trained to look at these numbers. Now, it doesn't mean they're making consumer-friendly decisions. That's a different argument, right?
Yeah.
But it does mean that they're looking at it and they're evaluating, and they know the potential risk and loss and the gain. And that comes with them saying we're going to launch a premium console. Now, I don't believe a word out of their mouth. Premium console to them. Honestly, you look at the ROG, and I still haven't seen a compelling argument of somebody concretely saying this is why you should buy the Xbox ROG versus the currently existing ROG. I think some of the specs are a bit better on it, like marginally. Is that worth the price difference between the two units? I don't know. I haven't looked that closely at it. However, I'll say probably not for most people. Because more expensive hardware just sucks all around, especially given the price increases that we're seeing industry-wide, right? So I don't believe a word. The premium label on it, is just marketing. Honestly, the Xbox ROG Ally, while it's a solid product, it's been reviewed very favorably. It's very good marketing. Just sticking an Xbox label on it. And increasing a little bit of the output. That's good marketing. And so it's working. It's clearly working. They're continuing that strategy. Them saying, and I firmly believe that whether it's the Game Pass price hikes, the developer kit price hikes, the $1,000 Asus ROG Xbox Ally, they're trying to gear their audience for exactly that, which is to say, when they do release a $1,000 console, people are going to go, oh, okay, well, we kind of knew this already. Right? They couldn't just drop the next gen Xbox and say, oh, it's $1,000. People would lose their minds. They would lose their freaking minds.
Yes.
But now that the Game Pass is more expensive, now that the ROG for a handheld is $1,000, if they come out with a system and they say, oh, it's $1,000, oh, it's $1,200, people are gonna go, oh, well, you know, the handheld was $1,000 and this is more powerful than a handheld, so $1,200, that seems fair.
Right.
Not everybody,
but
people will say that.
And thank you, Wacko Games. You literally, like on the tip of my tongue, I've been wanting to say this. That was the next point that I was gonna bring up. So thank you for bringing that up. Sarah Bond said that the ROG was a hint at what's to come with the next Xbox console, but she didn't want to spoil anything. But obviously, that again is marketing for the casual people that aren't in the know, that haven't been hearing these rumors for the longest time. That means everything that we just mentioned, Steam and everything, accessibility on the next console. That tells me that the next Xbox console is going to be outsourced to another. It's probably going to be Asus. It's going to be an Asus, like the Xbox Ultimate Asus, you know, Phoenix or whatever it's going to be called. And it's going to be an Xbox console. It's going to be console plug and play. Like, now, here's a question. This is literally like we're always back and forth in DMs and stuff. We can never really get our point across or our thoughts across. Because it's through text, and you can't have a solid argument or a conversation through text because there's too much to say. There's too much. At this point in gaming, and I want to ask everyone in chat too, what are your thoughts on this? At what point is a console not a console anymore, and it becomes a PC? So is it now because
they already are?
That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, like for example, when PlayStation and Xbox allow the ability years ago for you to open up your browser, you could browse the internet on your console, right? That means that you can actually go to different websites and play, what are they called? Flash games, like on, you know, whatever, funnyjunk.com, or that's just like me. That's my old self remembering that website back in the day. Allowing you to play free games on your browser on your console, right? That's been a thing for a long time, okay? So now we're looking at actual storefronts where you can purchase games and play them natively on your console, like download them from different storefronts. So now we're looking at the ROG Ally. It's a console, it's a handheld, whatever you want to call it. It's a device that allows you to play Xbox and all PC storefronts. So what happens whenever the next Xbox console comes out? Let's just say that it plays. You can put a disc in, your Xbox disc. You can play all of your whole library natively, Assassin. But then they say you can also play Steam games, Epic games, and then people go, oh, it's just a PC. That means that PC at that point. At what point? The further in technology that we go with gaming, at what point is everything just a PC? Because if Sony are the only ones holding back this new strategy with going to multiple storefronts and adding in PC availability, isn't everything just a PC? Or should it not even matter? I'll just say this, and then DeMarco, I can tell you want to say something. I will say this: for me, a console is the ease. It's the ease of use. It is picking up my controller, pressing this button right here. My console turns on, and I sit back and I just play. There is no messing with stuff. There's no whatever. That's a console to me. And if Xbox can offer hardware that is a PC with console-like accessibility, that's amazing.
I'll let Assassin go first.
No, you go first.
Okay.
Because you already know where I'm going.
No, you go first,
fair.
Assassin. What is your?
I'm not going first, Red.
Are
I
you
want the
scared?
Marco to go first.
Are you scared?
No, not at all.
All right, fine, good.
Right. Your console's already a PC. That's for starters. It's just you're locked to a certain operating system. Right. On a PC you have Windows. On an Apple you have iOS. Or you have Mac. On a Xbox you have the Microsoft operating, the Xbox operating system. On PlayStation you have the PlayStation. So that's all, and they're just locking you to that. That's all it is. That's why when handhelds did first come out, past the Steam Deck, which even on the Steam Deck you could do this, but that's why handhelds, they started saying, oh yeah, you can, we have our native one. I think it was the Steam Deck. They said you have our native one, but you can also, if you really want, you can run it like a normal Windows PC, right? And they gave that option because they knew that that's sort of, they're just saying, hey, we have one that is simplified, but if you want to have all the other things that come with having a Windows, you can do that. Xbox and PlayStation are basically just saying, no, you use ours, you use this one, and they don't give you any ability to go outside of that. But they can very easily turn that off, right? Xbox especially, because they are the owners of Windows, they can easily turn that off and just give you unlimited access. The studios, Microsoft is gearing themselves for the future, because this is where games are going, and it's not bad for gamers, right? I will say that I think a lot of people there's some people who, Red, like you said, they want to be able to just push the button, sit down, and grab their controller and play, right? That's an appeal to some people. You can basically do that. Like I said it before, but how do you play an Xbox? How do you sit down and play an Xbox? You push the power button, or you hold down the controller button, and you sit down, you sign in to your account, and then you browse through menus for a bit, and then you get to your game. How do I turn on my PC and play games? I push my power button, I sit down, I sign in, I scroll through some menus, which I don't actually technically I take out a step, because I don't need to scroll menus, because I have a bunch of shortcuts on my desktop. So I don't have to go through, like, I'm not limited by the amount of stuff I want on my desktop. I can have basically infinite icons on my desktop.
Yep.
So, unlike Xbox, where you have the most recent ones, then you got to go to your full library, right?
Your tiles.
And then, so I don't have to go through all that. I just go to my desktop, and then I double click something, and then it plays. And so, it legitimately is the same thing. And especially if you buy something pre-built, you can go back to the store, you can return it, you can get refunds, you can get exchanges, you can get repairs if you want it repaired, you can get warranties if anything goes wrong, you can buy extended warranties. Like most pre-built places, or if you want a custom built one, you want to shell out because you're like, all right, I'm finally getting into PC, I'm gonna spend that extra amount. You could usually they usually just come with warranties. If you go to any of these custom builders, they come with a 2-year warranty. I bought my first desktop was an HP Omen Obelisk. It was HP, and it came with a 2-year warranty. I had an issue with it. They paid for the shipping. I sent it to them, and it came back in like 2 days, and that was it. And especially if you want to do it through like Best Buy, then you could just bring it to the store. They'll take it and they'll repair it, or they'll give you a new one. So that process is seamless. And then on top of that, I do have the ability, like, I know one of the arguments that Assassin will bring up is his main thing is competition. And you have competition, because now what happens is you have competing storefronts. If I'm playing on a PC, or I'm playing on a PlayStation, and I'm playing on an Xbox, and all of those storefronts have, let's just say they all become open, and you could bounce between any of them. Now Epic Game Store, GOG, Microsoft Game Store, PlayStation Store, all of these storefronts are competing for your attention, and there's a reason why. Like EA, you can still buy things directly through EA, but they also turned around. They realized they were losing, and they said, okay, normally what happened when you bought an EA game through Steam is you still needed to have the EA launcher. It would open up the EA launcher. You needed to sign into it. Like it was annoying. Same with Ubisoft. But they're doing away with that because they realize that their proprietary platforms did not have good enough incentives. whether it was sales or whether it was features or functionality. They did not have good enough incentives to use it, on top of Steam being the dominant place for PCs where they were trying to enter into the market. So now all of these platforms have an incentive to try to offer something that's a unique selling point. And that can be prices, that can be that can be timed exclusivity, because I don't think PlayStation's going to give up timed exclusivity anytime soon. So if you want to have your game, you buy it first through the PlayStation Store. Even if you could, like, I can have the PlayStation Store on my Xbox, but I'm buying it first through PlayStation. And if I buy it through the PlayStation Store, PlayStation is getting a bigger cut, right? So there's still incentives. And then on top of that, the competition from a hardware perspective becomes, okay, the next I'm just gonna call it open source, the next open source PlayStation box, which is just a glorified PC at that point, needs to have good hardware in it, and it comes pre-built. You can go into PC, which is going to become the customization route, right? So I'm not locked into this is the hardware I have on my Xbox, my next box, and then next year I need to buy another next box which is just a pre-built PC.
Right.
And then right, I buy my PC, and the next time I upgrade my PC, it's right over here. The next time I buy it, I will just need to probably get a new graphics card. And that graphics card will run me $800, $900, right? If I buy it and I wait a little while for the prices to drop down, because I can also buy secondhand, which is a huge benefit. Wait for the prices to go down a bit, and then I get a new replacement for not the newest, not the shiniest, although if I want to do that, that option's available, but last year's, which will run everything perfectly fine. Every new game will run perfectly fine. Better than a console will run it, too. Worth mentioning. So that's from the hardware perspective, right? The PlayStation and Xbox, if they have open source, they can compete on who has the most powerful with the best price. Then, and also things like, what's this part, right? What's the additional peripherals? That's a huge deal. Like, I know people like Xbox controller, but I really like the gimmicks in the PlayStation controller. I do. I've said it many times.
Yeah, I wish Xbox had that, for sure.
The peripherals that come with the hardware, too. If it's open source, that's going to be a selling point, right? So there's incentives to go into one over the other. Sony has the advantage of audio. They've been in audio forever. They have the advantage of that, right? So they can continue to double down on that and say, listen, you want the best sound? Like, our system pairs perfectly with the whatever the name of their headphones are. So now that's the hardware front. Then you have the games. That's a separate thing. And Microsoft, you want competition. Microsoft is still going to be incentivized to make the best games, because at the end of the day, whether they're first party or third party, they're still getting the majority of their revenue, whether you buy it on the Windows Store or you buy it on Steam or you buy it on PlayStation. It does not matter. They still need to make good games, because that's where they're making revenue. But now they're just not. Are they making less revenue? Of course, because they need to share. They need to share. But EA has been doing that for years. Ubisoft has been doing that for years. Hell, you think of all these upcoming AA studios. Larian's not sitting there saying, well, we need to make sure that we have our games on the proprietary Larian box. Like, no, that's not happening. So they enter a thing where it's like, okay, we're gonna sell games the way the rest of the industry has been doing it for years, but their incentive is now their market is open. Because I can buy every single game on my next box, Microsoft has to double down and make quality experience, because yes, Microsoft is going to get a small percentage cut of the revenue from a sale of Expedition 33, from a sale of Vampire the Masquerade, right? They're going to get a small cut of that, but they'll get a better cut, and they'll get across all the platforms, right? If I buy Expedition 33 on PlayStation, Microsoft's not getting jack. But if I buy Halo on PlayStation, Microsoft's getting something. So they have an incentive to double down on the games front, because they need to be competitive, and also the hardware front, because at the end of the day, they can maximize their revenue by making sure that I'm buying it through the Windows Store. Even if I'm on PC, they can do it through the Microsoft Store. They have extra incentive to make sure that Microsoft Store can compete. So all around, there's still competition, both on a hardware, a software, and a games development perspective. Gamers win because now the argument is less on, well, I play my games on this one, right? The argument has evolved from petty console wars to now the conversation can be, well, actually, PlayStation does have some really good offerings that benefit consumers, right? You can have, it's like when, you know, you talk about sort of, we have all this technology in the world which allows us to have, I'm going a bit off, I'm not going to go there. I was going to say you have the freedom to think about more, like, when the great philosophers came out because they had the luxury to spend time thinking because other things were going well, right? So it's, I was going to make a parallel to consoles, right? Consoles are doing well and you have all this variety to choose from and things are good because you can play games wherever you want. So now we have the ability to think about bigger problems, like, is the freaking controller, like, not having stick drift? You know, is the grips, like
Xbox.
One thing I will say about PlayStation, I use this controller a lot more than I use this one, but these stupid freaking joypad, like the joystick pads are all worn down and like I feel like I need to replace them. This one especially, the main one, it's super worn down. Doesn't, like, those stupid things I can now worry about because I'm not sitting here console warring.
Yeah.
And so every argument that you can make against, and that's all on top of the fact that of what I said at first, which is to say I can turn on my PC, I type in a 4-digit passcode on it. I can make it longer if I'm worried about security. I type in my 4 little digit key, and then I have everything right there on my desktop as shortcuts, and it's just as easy as a console. And if I have a problem with it, I send it back. You know, done for the rest of the show.
Yeah. All right. See you, DeMarco. Assassin, what say you? And he probably just blocked out everything you said, and it was like, now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be an asshole. But yeah. So what do you think, Assassin? What's a console?
What I think is a console? Well, for one, I do agree with you.
What do you think about DeMarco? Yeah, what do you like? Don't just dismiss.
I agree with you. Well, I agree with you, Red, about the difference between consoles and PCs is the actual easy use of a console. Whereas a PC, yeah, you have to set it up the first time, and you know, he mentioned that you can put game icons on your desktop. You don't have to go through all these menus and stuff. But the thing about consoles specifically, it's more, and I've said this before, and I still sort of stand by it, just a little bit differently. The thing about consoles is that they're game first. PCs, yes, there are dedicated gaming PC laptops. I'm not going to say that there aren't. If you want to go game on PC, you absolutely have that option. There are definitely certain PC hardware manufacturers that dedicate everything in their job to making a great gaming PC built specifically for gaming. I'm not saying that those don't exist. However, the thing about consoles and PCs, on consoles, the games are the biggest selling factor. For normal PCs, games are not the selling factor. Not
we don't live in 2000.
Stop. I didn't interrupt you. First of all,
we just don't live in 2004 anymore. Like,
yeah.
Oh, we still. Oh no, we don't. We don't live in 2004. We live in 2025.
I know, but that's such an old mentality.
No, it's not.
You're so old.
Yes, it is. So.
Okay, is he gonna interrupt me, or am I allowed to finish?
No, I'm posing a question. I'm posing a question. Like, your Xbox can play. When Xbox One came out, their whole thing was like the home console, right? That didn't do well for them, but their whole thing was like the all-in-one thing. You can watch your TV and you can play. Like, so you have that ability. You can go and put a Blu-ray disc into your Xbox if you have the disc edition, right? But you don't use those features. So, right. So in other words, what you're saying is, well, like on PC, I can open Microsoft Words and I can open Safari or I can open Google, right? But if I don't want to use those features on my PC, the same way you don't have to watch movies on your Xbox, I cannot use those features on my PC. right? So I can buy a PC just for gaming. That's why there's gaming PCs, and that's why there's workstations and laptops and all the varieties that you get. So I don't know. Like, it's just an old mentality to say that it's.
No, it's not. You don't buy a console just to watch Crunchyroll.
But you
I don't
can't
buy a
escape
PC,
that.
but you can't, like.
Those features are just
But
inherently
it's
there now.
there.
This is
It's
the
just
world
there.
that we. Yeah, like you don't buy a phone to watch Crunchyroll. But it's
But
there.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, the appeal of a phone, Red, is communication.
But
Not
sure.
not to watch YouTube.
But let
or
me ask you this.
Snapchat.
Let me ask you this though. If you picked up a phone today and said, "I need a phone because I need communication," and they say, "All it does is text and call," and you go, "Yeah, I want to buy that." Is that the same thing? Would you just buy
Are you
a
asking
phone?
if I would buy it?
Would you buy a phone if all it did was do exactly what it needs to do?
Call and text?
Yes.
Does that include email?
No, you can't do anything. You play games on a console, that's all you can do with it, or you just text and call on a phone. It's the same mentality. You would not buy that phone. You'd be like, fuck you. This is the future. This is in the modern age. Like, the technology is just going to be there regardless. That's why this argument of console gaming and PC gaming, they're so close together now. All that it comes down to is accessibility.
Okay.
Because if you buy a PC now, you do have to tinker. You have all these things that you can access, that you can change around, that you can tinker with.
Or you cannot. You can literally
Or
not.
you don't have to.
That's an option.
Exactly. Or you don't have to. Exactly. So go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't want to do this anymore. You're just going to interrupt me. I'm done.
No, I
said, you
It's
didn't
just
even
a
ask
good
a
point.
question.
It's just
you
a good
went
point.
on for 5 minutes, and I did not even interrupt you once, and I listened.
But the
Go ahead.
question-
I did not even
go ahead.
interrupt you. I didn't ask a question. I did nothing.
Go
And
ahead.
you wouldn't
Listen,
even let me speak for more than a minute.
Please,
Okay, go
listen,
ahead.
For fuck's sake.
You are more than welcome.
Hell
Please.
no.
keep-
No, I do not
Go
want
ahead.
to. Hell
You
no.
don't want to? Okay. Is it
No.
because
Look,
we
here,
brought
I'll
up
do-
good
I'll do
points?
You
this
guys
for- I'll do
already
this-
know
I'll do
that
this,
I'm not going to
Assassin, I'll
get
do-
this damn next Xbox because it doesn't appeal. If
I'll
it's
do
more
this
than
for you,
$1,000, no one is going to buy it if the PlayStation is a lot less. You can play
Assassin.
Xbox games and PlayStation games on a console
Assassin,
that
why are
is
you
a lot
yelling?
less.
Assassin, finish
Because I'm
your
tired
argument.
of this bullshit.
I'm gonna do.
I'm
no, listen,
tired of you
gonna-
guys trying to out-drag me into a fucking argument.
I'm gonna do something. I'm trying to help you. I'm gonna do something for you. All right. You can finish your argument just in 3, 2.
There you go. There you go. Assassin here. It's just me and you. Just me and you.
No. Like, no, Red. Like, no. I'm
It's
not
just me and
going
you?
to.
It's just me
No,
and you
I
here?
don't care, Red. I really don't.
The audience wants look at this. Look at Assassin. Lotus says, Assassin, I understand what you mean. That is why I still use Switch OLED. There you go. There you go.
Also, Maverick, this is the reason why PC is actually growing and not consoles. Maybe if they stopped developing for last-gen consoles, maybe console sales would actually go up. Did you guys ever think about that?
Hey, listen, Assassin,
How many
please.
games are still in development for Xbox One and PS4?
Listen, while
Yeah,
you're
a
so
lot.
mad right now, I want you to continue talking about what your thoughts are on.
No,
Why
Red,
not?
you already know. Because
I'm
you
not gonna
already
interrupt.
know.
Listen, we didn't interrupt to begin with. DeMarco was just capitalizing on your point. That's all. He was just.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, but I didn't say anything, Red. I didn't say anything.
You did. You started. to say
I
something.
actually listened to him the whole time.
Okay, well, look, we don't have to do this here. BT Maverick says, lol, how many of those first-party exclusive games stay in the top 10 outside of 1 month? Wait, sorry. How many of those first-party exclusive games stay outside of 1 month? Oh, right. Because Red, cut your camera. Wait, you guys can hear me, right? Right? Okay, you can hear me. Okay, just make sure. Yeah, let's just go. We should go. But no, yeah, we are actually overtime. But Assassin, really, if you don't have anything else to say, it's totally.
Nah, bro, I don't.
It's totally fine. That's totally fine, man. Totally fine. Oh, DeMarco's back. He's here to interrupt you. Let's see. Fuzzy Tomato says that's literally zero chance that cross-gen stops being a thing ever again. It's unreasonable expectation. I'm gonna sleep. Too late for Red and DeMarco. I'm gonna sleep too late for Red and DeMarco at this crap. Yeah, thank you so much for being here, Barry Donovan. Really appreciate you, buddy. Get some sleep. The easiest way to sum up the next Xbox is it will hopefully be the best of both worlds. Yeah, that's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. That's what Ion Storm says, who will be on next week. Do you agree with Ion, Assassin?
The easiest way to sum up the next Xbox, it will hopefully be the best of both worlds. You do realize this is Microsoft we're talking about. They're going to screw up something. They always do.
In what way?
Especially the current Xbox.
What are you most worried about?
Well, first of all, the price is going to make a lot of people second guess. First of all, there's also no actual concrete, like, yes, we're going to have Steam and all other PC storefronts on our next Xbox anyway. It's still just a theory until we actually get to actually see the UI and actually see someone actually using it. So, no, I still don't... Like, me and Arcane have talked about this. There's still a chance that Satya could shut down the whole division and focus on AI.
With consoles?
Yeah, all it takes is Satya Nadella to say, this isn't working. Like, this is not giving us the revenue that you promised us. We want to focus completely on AI. Let's just shut it all down.
Okay,
there's still a chance.
I'm just asking about the next. I'm just asking your opinion on the next Xbox console.
Yeah, I still don't think even if it does come out, it's not going to be everything that you guys want. I genuinely think that.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be everything
before the
that you guys
show
want.
started?
Yes, I did.
What'd you eat?
Grapes. Water.
You ate grapes. So, okay, so you drank before before the show started. Okay, great. Perfect. Well, I'm glad to have your thoughts on that. Thank you for explaining everything. Wacko Games. Would PC gaming grow if the PC couldn't do anything outside gaming? Right. Yeah. Exactly. I just think we're so close to... DeMarco, please don't breathe while I'm talking. Don't interrupt me. Yeah, please hold your breath while I make my opinion known here. I think that... I've already lost what I was going to say. Sorry. You can go ahead. You can breathe. DeMarco just like falls over, passes out. Anyway, look, we've done it. Okay, you guys have been so good. Look, again, if you guys are new to the show and you just discovered the channel for whatever reason, consider subscribing. We go live every single Tuesday. Would love to see you guys in chat. Shout out to the couple people that I hadn't seen here in chat for the first time, like Minakata Hizuru. Hizuru. Thank you so much for showing up. Really appreciate you guys. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. But before we do that, DeMarco, where can people find you? What do you got going on your side of the internet?
Check it out over at DeMarco Dude, link in the description below, where you can look for content that is different from what we do here. Would love to have you guys stop by, join in, hang out, leave some comments on some stuff. I recently the last video I did was a preview for Shadow of the Road, but I have some others that I'm excited. Specifically, I want to really get into Exodus, and because Exodus has a lot of information coming out about it, I'm very excited for that game. So trying to define as more of an RPG creator versus just a Bethesda one. So would love if you guys are interested in those types of games. Come check it out, show some support. It's appreciated.
Yes, excellent. And Assassin, where can people find you, my son?
You can find me at Assassin52 on Twitter. That's it.
Great. Could you say it again, but more like enthusiastic?
No.
Whoa, everybody, you can come check me out at Assassin52 on Twitter. Whoa, it's your boy Assassin. Is that okay?
That works.
Great. All right. And you can check me out here. You have been checking me out the entire time. But if you want to follow me on Twitter, that's fine. The link is in the description below. But more importantly, please go follow these two fine gentlemen. And again, did you mention your podcast, DeMarco? Thursdays?
Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can check it out if you want another show to come and hang out at.
A double dose of D. Double dose of D.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. And hey, listen, when this show is over and it's not live anymore, please leave a comment. It helps a lot. And I've been saying leave like a poo emoji. Don't do that because apparently YouTube blocks it. So whatever. So you leave any emoji other than the poop emoji because YouTube will block it. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. Wait for the video to be done. Come back. Leave an emoji or leave a comment. Say something like, tell me what your favorite food is ever. I would love to know because it helps. And it's simple. It's free. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everyone. Existence is pain.